ESPN put out a post-free agency power rankings. And what we like to do on this show is judge the people that are judging things. Let's judge their post-free agency power rankings. Number 10, they have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady, Godwin, and Mike Evans. Let me just say that I think as we are early here, I think they are wrong. I think the Buccaneers are going to be a damn good team next year. I understand that the team last year didn't make the playoffs, and I understand that they're probably wondering how Tom Brady's going to fit into a Bruce Arians-like offense. I think Tom Brady, if you're listening to Jason Light talk, was not only a man who wanted to go to Tampa Bay, was selling himself to Tampa Bay, but who Bruce Arians, who's been around his offense longer than anybody else has been around his offense, says that he has the perfect arm for. You got to remember, Tom Brady, in passes 20 yards down the field or further in tight windows, had the number one QBR in the NFL last year. It doesn't get talked about because the New England Patriots didn't have any wide receivers that could get 20 yards down the field and get open, right? So you never really got to see it happen on a regular basis. Everybody said this guy's arm is dead. This guy can't throw anymore. Patriots fans are even saying it's been hard to win with Tom because the guy couldn't throw the ball further than 15 yards. Connor said that the other day because he's completely turned on Tom Brady because he's a sellout.
I didn't say that, but I have turned.
I think they're much higher than 10. Let's go to the rest of their rankings. Number 9, they have the Buffalo Bills. I like that the Buffalo Bills are getting some love in a power ranking in the offseason in the NFL. It feels like it's been forever since this has happened. You know why? Because evil empire, the New England Patriots, were always going to take the Buffalo Bills' playoff chances or home playoff game chances away from them stat. The AFC East used to be run by Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Everybody knows that. The Buffalo Bills, though, have been quietly building up a great team. They drafted a kid from the country that had a massive hand and a massive arm to play quarterback. His first year, he wasn't great. He was a great athlete. Then this last year, he got much better, and that team could be eyeing a real prize while this window from the Patriots kind of, rebuilding opens up and takes advantage of it. Good for the Buffalo Bills at 9. I like where they're seated. The Vikings obviously got a big playoff win against the New Orleans Saints. Did Kyle Rudolph push off? Kyle Rudolph says no. The refs in the Super Bowl that called the same exact thing on George Kittle say yes. But that's NFL refs, and that's inconsistency. At number 33 on this list, if there is a power rankings in the offseason, is Alberto River, by the way, because there's no real consistency. But the Vikings last year, primetime Kirk Cousins was born in Dallas in Jerry World, went down there in primetime and sliced and diced the Dallas Cowboys defense. Then he gets an on-the-road playoff win in New Orleans, which is not easy to do, with his arm, by the way, did a lot of that. Kirk Cousins, good football player. Will they ever win the Super Bowl? Will the Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins at quarterback ever win the Super Bowl? They get rid of Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills, who are ranked below them. They have Adam Thielen still. They have Kyle Rudolph. They have Dalvin Cook still. They lose their offensive coordinator in Stefanski. He goes over there to Cleveland. Will the Vikings ever win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins? I'm not 100% sure, but they are ranked above the Bills, who I don't see winning a Super Bowl next year, so that seems right to me. At 7, the Tennessee Titans, who just re-signed Ryan Tannehill, went on a miraculous run, beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore when everybody thought the Baltimore Ravens were indefensible. The Titans' defense stepped up. Ryan Tannehill and King Derrick Henry were dominant on the offensive side. Then they ran into the buzzsaw that was the Kansas City Chiefs. They had to lead against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they ultimately end up losing. They had 28 free agents going into this past offseason. They pay Ryan Tannehill over $100 million. They franchise tag Derrick Henry. What are they doing with the other 26 free agents? I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I like the Tennessee Titans a lot, but I'm not sure we're going to see that team that went on that miraculous run last year, this year, but maybe we could. I don't know. Maybe Ryan Tannehill has become this godsend to Tennessee. Whenever they put him in and pull Mariota out, the whole thing switched, and they became a dominant team. 26 more free agents other than Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, though. That is something that could be a bit alarming because all you need is 1 week link of the chain, and no longer can that chain pull. And I'm not 100% sure the Titans will be able to pull the chain next year. Do I like the Bills, the Vikings, or the Bucks more than the Titans? Yes, I like the Bucks more than the Titans, but I don't know if the Titans are going to completely fall out of the top 10. 6, the Seahawks. Russell Wilson, he's going to win games. Kind of a boring team to talk about, to be honest with you. I like that the Seahawks are good at football. I like watching them on television, but they're rarely on television because of the East Coast bias. We don't really know anything about this team until later in the year because that's when people start paying attention to them. Russell Wilson will always do something magical and miraculous. He's already been able to, he's proven that he can win a Super Bowl. But will the Seattle Seahawks ever win a Super Bowl again without the Legion of Boom? That is TBD to BH. Let's go to the Packers at number 5. I like the Packers at 5. Get rid of Jimmy Graham. That probably is an upgrade. I think all people at Green Bay think. You bring in Devin Funchess. If you can make Devin Funchess play to his
ceiling
potential. If you get Devin Funchess to play for his to his potential with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, with LaFleur hopefully getting, and also having an absolute weapon on the other side of the field, I think that the Packers could take that next step. But have they done anything to stop the fact that they gave up 186 yards before contact in the NFC Championship, aside from re-signing the defensive coordinator to an extension?
Got rid of some of the slow white linebackers that were kind of hurting them. Bring in some other guys. So they still need to address that in the draft. I think they'll be okay.
Okay, but if you look at how the season ended last year, they would be in 4 probably, right? Because they were in the NFC Championship and they got blown out and they weren't able to stop a single run or draw from the 49ers. At 4, a team that everybody's saying is better than the Packers in the NFC, even though they didn't make the championship game last year. The Saints, who re-signed Drew Brees. They lost Teddy Bridgewater. Taysom Hill is still there. They bring back Malcolm Jenkins. We just talked to Thomas Morstead. The Saints now playing in the NFC South that has Teddy Bridgewater, who was there for a long time and knows the ins and outs of their entire offense, going to Matt Rule in Carolina, and Tom Brady coming to the NFC South. That NFC South is going to be tough sledding for whoever comes out of there. Will it be Drew Brees and the Saints like it has been for a long time? Sean Payton beat the COVID-19. Will that carry into the regular season? I'm not 100% sure. They're going to be a good squad. The 49ers at 3, I respect that. Basically, all parts have come back. Yesterday, a caller said, why doesn't Antonio Brown go over to the 49ers? That's an intriguing thought, actually. I think that's a locker room that could handle him. I think that's an offense that would be unstoppable with him. With Deebo Samuel, they lose Emmanuel Sanders, who went to the Saints, obviously, but with George Kittle, Jimmy G, Kyle Shanahan's big brain in that running game, it feels like if you add Antonio Brown to that might be a cheat code, not only in Madden, but in real life. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. Will Lamar Jackson in that offense be unstoppable yet again? Will that defense be a hungry one? Will they be ball hawking? Marcus Peters goes over there and is an immediate game changer for that Ravens defense. On the offensive side of the ball, they lose Marshall Yonda, all-pro offensive lineman. Will they be able to do what they did last year and took the world by storm when they committed completely to the Lamar Jackson-style offense with a bunch of tight ends, good defensive play, ground and pound, let our quarterback throw the ball 20 times a game maybe at most, and let's win games? Will they be able to do that again? I am honestly not sure, especially with Ben Roethlisberger coming back, one entire offseason for defensive coordinators to watch that offense and see how it goes. Remember, the Wildcat took over the world for a long time too. Then defensive coordinators figured it out. Lamar Jackson is a special, unique, anomaly, alien, unicorn of a player. He's the most athletic player on the field every time he's on the field. Nobody thought he'd be able to transition from Louisville to the NFL and make people look stupid. He has done just that on many occasions. But I just feel like defense coordinators could have potentially figured out a way to stop it. If they did, that's a problem. If the Titans were just the blueprint for other teams to use against them, I'll be excited to see what Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh and the entire squad over there do to get better. But I like the Ravens going forward. They got a young freak. And the only reason why they're not at number 1 is because the team that has about 55 cents in salary cap right now, they have no money to spend, but they're supposed to extend Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how that's going to work. That's not going to happen until next year, it seems like at this point. The reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions of the world, the Kansas City Chiefs, who seemed like they won a Super Bowl 4 years ago. That was just a couple months ago. I don't know how you're going to stop them. I still don't know how you're going to stop them. And that defense with the Honey Badger is going to come back even hungrier. I mean, I feel like the Chiefs are potentially the next dynasty. How they handle success will be a big telling factor for that. That's what we'll have to see next year.
So in the AFC, Vegas has these teams ranked higher than the Titans. Patriots, Colts, Steelers, and Browns.
Phillip Rivers and the Colts, no love there. Bringing a veteran quarterback with a great team around him, will they be able to win? I was very surprised about that. The Pittsburgh Steelers getting Ben Roethlisberger back when they almost made the playoffs last year with Mason Rudolph in our guy, Ducky Hodges at quarterback. Now, no offense to Ducky or Mason. Those offenses were not moving much. The defense was just so dominant. They almost made a playoff run. Now they get old Big Ben Roethlisberger back with that beard and a revenge body. And he said he's actually working out this offseason, which he has never done before. Never, ever worked out in the offseason before. The Steelers could be dangerous as well. The Steelers could be a big problem. And also the Patriots, they have Bill Belichick. So you never know what's going to happen. Feels like they've lost everybody. Josh McDaniels is still up there, though. He has coached up quarterbacks to become great throughout his entire tenure there. A lot of backups have gone on and had success other places. Will they be able to do that with Stidham? Will they be able to make Hoyer, who's playing for free next year, a good quarterback? I'm not 100% sure. I think they lost too many people. They took Tom Brady for granted, and now the Patriot way is going to ultimately end up biting them in the ass.